Welcome to the Trans Coffee Table Kiki. You have your host Duchess and me, Portia.
How should we get today's show started on this rainy evening?
We got some good topics to discuss.
Okay, well, this time you better put me in a hot seat like you did last time. Okay, girl, let's do it. What's the first topic?
The first topic is about the use of pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to discuss the use of pronouns like him, her, they. So conservative Matt Walsh doesn't believe in pronouns. He believes the gender was assigned at birth. And so let's listen to this clip now.
The Walrus. This book is about identity and imagination. He identifies as a walrus. His mom's a little silly. She takes it seriously and thinks he really is a walrus. So she went on her phone, and there are people telling her that this isn't pretend. He's really a walrus. And his mother takes him to the doctor to have him surgically transition and gets him walrus hormone pills. And then eventually tries to drop him off at a zoo to live with other walrus. Not only topping the Amazon charts, my book has taken the world by storm.
Who's buying that book? Politicians. Okay. So what are your thoughts on it, girl?
I think it's really ridiculous.
I mean, yes, like he's comparing it to a walrus. Like I feel like I'm a walrus now, so I'm gonna take walrus pills. It's like that's not the case. And you know what? Even if that was the case, if the little kid was like, you know what? I feel like I'm a walrus, then let that kid go out and live his best.
Yeah, let it
life.
go out.
Like, if it's not affecting any other kid walruses, the walruses in the wilderness, let him live his best walrus life. You know, go out there and hunt for fish and whatnot.
There should be no construct of gender, just sex. You're either male or female.
Right.
And someone feeling in a mental, emotional way that they don't identify with the sex that they have been biologically created as and assigned at birth based on their genitalia. If they don't feel that way, that there's no construct that describes that, experiences that.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the realities. You can feel however you want. I mean, I can sit here and say that I feel like a tomato plant, but that doesn't mean I'm actually in those things. So your self-perception, you can have whatever self-perception you want, but you can't expect me to take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production. You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. It's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant, and no matter whatever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify. Makes no sense.
He
You don't
is
get
kind
your
of
own
handsome.
pronouns.
I know about the brilliant
grammar,
part.
that's
The walrus like, he has a really good beard. Like this man like pinches it in. He like uses a little black stuff like make it thicker. Like he took time with that beard. Okay, first of all. Also, I feel like okay, so he's like, you can't like self-proclaim and give yourself your own pronouns or whatnot. I'm like, well, we only know he is her based on what society has deemed acceptable to call this person a boy or a girl. But I mean, at one point in time, someone out there was okay, we're going to label this,
Yeah.
we're going to label that. So then why can't I, being a person in time, go, you know what, let's add a third one in there. Like, I don't understand why it bothers him so just because this person wants to go by, you know, this pronoun.
Because he's a bigot.
Yes. So what if I go, okay, like, you know, you call yourself a man, but I want to call you as a she. Your eyelashes are they're a little flamboyant, they're a little curled, you know. I'm gonna call you a she. He'd be up in arms.
Yeah, he would.
Okay, what do you think? What do you have to say?
I think he should let people live their best life.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me. I mean, I identify as a trans woman, and that's my experience. So, if you don't call me she or her, it's really disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, why go through all this? At the end of the day, we're all humans. Just let's respect one another. And you may not agree with it, but if this person wants to be called, this pronoun, then just call them that. Keep them moving. Like it's a small insignificant of your day. Why spend time bickering over their pronoun? When just call them their pronoun, and then discussion can go further, or you never have to see them again a day in your life.
When I first told my friends about me being trans, some of them still called me by my government name, but most of them, they got the message and they call me Portia now.
Yeah, I feel like I had a similar experience with my mom. Like, she took the news pretty well when I said I wanted to call Duchess. And I feel like at the beginning, she wouldn't quite say it. She would still use my dead name. Like, when I would pick up the phone, she'd be like, oh, hey, insert name here. And I'm like, no, it's Duchess. And she's like, oh, you can't expect me to, know right off the bat. I'm like, exactly. You have to make the effort in order for you to get it. And I think she's finally starting to see, that, it's hurtful when you don't call me by my name. For my mom, it's all, remember who you are. Like, this isn't you. This is the world projecting this image on you. And I'm like, I've been feminine since birth.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't some image that the world's projecting on me. This is who I am, and you are projecting your own image on me. And so just accept it and move on.
And even when you were a boy, you were feminine.
I was super feminine. I've never been masculine a day in my life. Like, literally, I would get dressed up for gym, would do no sports. I would do no sports. And then, me as a little kid, I refused to run. I didn't jump fences or anything. So I was like, I'm not messing up my knees. The little 8-year-old gay me back in the day was like, I might need these knees for a cute skirt and to pull off a cute mini skirt. I'm not gonna mess up my knees. True story. I literally did not do sports because I didn't want to mess up my knees.
Oh, okay.
If that didn't tell you, I don't know what.
Okay, so let's listen to this next clip.
You define a woman as
An adult human female.
and what does a female mean?
Well, that's
How do you define a
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we can dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is female, you said, right?
Correct. It's
Okay.
a biological female.
So what happens if we have maybe someone who is female, identifies as a woman, right? Cisgender woman, right? As you just explained, but maybe doesn't have the ability to reproduce. Maybe doesn't have those organs that you're talking about that are reproductive organs.
I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what is a woman?
Womanhood is something that...
That you not answered my question. I'm flipping a question on you.
Use the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
That describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Identify as what?
As a woman.
What is that?
What's to each their own. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently.
That doesn't
And so
sound that-
trans women are women too. And you want to reduce...
Guys like him are just very analytical, and they can only see things a certain way, and they can't think outside the box. I've experienced people like that before, and it's like, I feel like they're not really creative. They're just very scientific. It's like, this is this, and that's it. That's all their mind can fathom.
He only considers the two genders, male or female.
Mm-hmm.
He totally ignores the gender identity. That's not right.
So that's the problem.
Women, you want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're
What
saying.
you want to do is
That's
what you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood and turn it into basically a costume that can be worn. We've got when we say it's real funny. It's real funny when you're
So what do you think about what he said about you want to transform it into.
I feel like that. I feel like once again we have a man projecting what he thinks a woman should look like. When it's like women come in all shapes and forms and sizes. So it's not for him to say this is what women should look. It's for that woman to say like, okay, this is what I identify as. Like I'm a woman. I mean, at the end of the day, I still say, why does this man care so much? Why does he have so much energy? Is he turned on by it secretly? Because I feel like
I think so.
I feel like guys who make this much noise are secretly love it, and they're projecting.
Yeah.
Secretly, he wants a trans woman.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
think.
does.
What are your thoughts, Walsh?
I mean, I think you said it perfectly.
Mouthful.
Yeah.
Oh, bearded chinful.
Now that was a non-binary individual. I think they should have had trans individuals in the segment.
I totally agree. Like,
You know, because
I think the man was trans male. That was, which on the
no,
on
he
the-
says he's non-binary.
the guy.
They both say they're non-binary.
Yeah, I would have loved it if they had like at least one trans person.
I would have
Maybe
loved
a
it if they
trans
did.
male or trans woman. I would love if they had someone that's trans.
Like a Laverne Cox or someone like that.
Well, it doesn't have to be a celebrity. It should literally be just a person who identifies as trans. Because if we're talking about trans, then we should. But okay, to be fair, I feel like the conversation wasn't specifically on trans. I think it may have been just pronoun is not he or she, and you're not like if you're not genetically born a girl or genetically born a boy, but you go by something different. I think that's where they were thinking when they chose the they individuals. I'm assuming they go by they or non-binary.
They go by they.
So I'm assuming that's where they went. But still, it's nice to have one trans person.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Is there more video?
Yeah, the pronoun thing.
Okay.
People have been trying to put labels on me. Nutrition labels, expiration dates, telling me I was biologically chocolate on the inside. But deep down I knew I wasn't who they said I was. I am a Skittle.
Part of moving forward is accepting responsibility for your past.
The people at Mars Inc., they weren't bad people, they were just ignorant. They thought they knew what candy I was just because they knew my exact chemical composition, but we are not our biology.
We are holding ourselves accountable for the way in which accurate product descriptions cause hurt and pain to the trans candy community.
I just woke up one day and realized I am not defined by the chocolate center I was made with. I am, and always was, a delicious grape Skittle. And I'm proud of it.
So, Mars has committed to never again assigning an identity to the candy we produce. Instead, we'll let each candy decide for himself, or herself, or Skittle self, who they really are. And whatever the candy says, we will falsify nutrition information to make it a reality. Now, reality can truly be whatever we want.
I'm just free. Free at last to be me. The real me.
We're even offering every peanut M&M a total nut removal, free of charge, because they're free to be themselves, nuts or no nuts.
Having completed my transition to living as a grape Skittle, I've been so grateful for the acceptance I've found here at Mars Incorporated. Thanks for accepting a Skittle. Like me.
Is that real?
No,
That was a parody?
that was a parody.
I totally thought it was real at first. I was like, oh, look at Mars. No, do it for the community. And I'm like, wait, what? Once again, they're
So do
taking
you
it to
think this?
extreme.
Do you think this video was pro-trans or was it like?
I feel like they were definitely just like poking fun at the trans experience, and they're saying like we're gonna falsify, information. At the end of the day, if you're a trans girl or a trans guy, you're acknowledging that, hey, I'm trans. Like I was born male and I transitioned to female. But I'm in no way means, no way, shape, or form saying I'm a cis woman.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
falsifying anything and still identify as a trans woman. So that was just some like extreme narrative that was trying to be pushed down our throats.
Yeah,
in
and did
candy
you
form.
see the part where they said with nuts or you could remove them?
I saw it and heard it. It was hilarious. Okay, I'm not taking myself too seriously, but I can't laugh. But no, I feel like they were definitely trying to make fun of
It was definitely an anti-trans video.
100%. What are your thoughts, girl? And what did you find these videos? Like Google anti-trans videos?
No, I just found this video today on a trans blog.
No, I definitely 100% don't agree. Like, we're not falsifying. We're not
I
We're
know.
not trying like to pull the wool over your eyes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some girls are very passable, and you may still consider yourself like I am a woman. But like if individuals tell you like I'm a trans woman, we're not saying we're cis woman. We're saying I'm trans woman.
Yeah, I mean,
It's as simple as that. What's the false lie? What's the what are we hiding?
yeah, I think it goes along with the whole Matt Walsh thing. You know, it's pushing their view of what they feel, I guess, we should be, or we should fall into their categories. But no, the pronouns are out, and we are going to be trans women or trans men or non-binary. You can choose whatever you want to choose.
And I definitely strongly believe, from my point of view, that it's definitely something that, some people may realize later in life that, they may transition, and some people may have always known that experience is different for everybody. But when you said they were like pushing their views onto the individual, it reminded me of this video that I saw on YouTube, and it was from a podcast called Men Like Us. And they were talking about, let me try to find it real quick. They were basically saying like, is it something that's been around for a long time, or is it something that came about when America was founded and it was like ushered in from Europe or something? And they kind of touched base on things I've always heard, like how Native American tribes had like a third person. I think they're called third people. Like, I am no by way means a historian. I'm just telling you things I remember.
Yeah.
But I remember reading something about the Native American tribe. They had like third people, or in the video they were saying some tribes in Africa, they had people who you may have been born male, but then you carried yourself as a woman, you dressed as a woman, you married a man, you took care of the household as you would a woman, you adopted a role. And those individuals were seen as like sacred, spiritual. They were beings. They were seen as, okay, like they can see both sides of the story. They could even be like the intermediate, where like I can explain what the guys are feeling, and also what the girls are feeling, because I understand both sides. And the video was really cool because they had parts from like actual India, had parts from Africa, they even have parts from Mexico. So just to show you like that trans is not some new invention, it's been around. And the guy even read like excerpts from different colonizers, like their journals, and it was describing these individuals, and even though it was describing them from their viewpoints and saying this is blasphemous and these people are, abominations, it was also saying that for their fellow tribesmen and tribeswomen, they were respected in the community. Like, they legit got married to men, and in their eyes, you didn't identify as a man, you were a woman. So the man that you married, they wouldn't have called him gay. They would have said, no, you're straight, because he's married to a woman. So like these ideas have been around. And
yeah, of
it
course.
took for colonizers to come over to America, and push their agenda on the native people. And then like eventually the native people were looking at their own kind like it was something to be ashamed upon. And it was interesting too because you read articles, you see news stories about like, people in Africa, trans and gay kids like going through so much. And it's like, wow, back in the olden days, way before colonization of Africa, that wasn't the case. It was a really good YouTube video. I literally just watched it the other day. And I'm trying to find this so I can see you guys there. I should have been better prepared. But did you watch some of it, Walsh?
I did. First of all, let me say, LGBT people have always been a part of society and culture.
Mm-hmm.
From the Greeks and the Romans, all the way up until, rather recently, in 1865, where Lincoln had a gay lover.
Wait, who?
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln had a gay.
Yeah, he had a gay lover.
Now that's the real tea, and you heard it here.
It is.
Look it up. Wait. Where'd you get this tea from?
I've seen it on several shows, but they won't tell you that you.
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like a lot of these politicians have gay lovers, and they like secretly. A lot of men are down though. They won't tell you. They love the trans girls, especially if like anti-trans. They love the trans girls. But for anyone who wants to look at that video, I found it. It is the Men Like Us podcast, and the topic was, did transgender exist before America? It was a really good podcast, and he had a gentleman on there. I think his name is Emil. The guy's name is Chris, who runs it, and he had this gentleman on named Emil, and he just kind of like went through like the history of trans, and it was like amazing to hear all of that. So definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good video.
So we're talking about next, girl. Is it
Your
time?
topic.
Is it time for me to put you in the hot seat?
Oh, I'm gonna be in the hot seat.
I want to talk about, so you make plans with a guy or a girl, and people cannot stick to their word. Like, how do you proceed after that? Because I know this girl who just forgives and like she makes excuses for them, and she's like, oh, to be fair, this, that, and the other. And me personally, like on a serious note, when I am talking to someone, I like to let them know the expectations. I think it's fair to let them know who they're getting in bed with. And I'm like, hey, you may be a busy person, I may be a busy person, we both have busy lives. But let's agree to respect each other's times and respect each other's lives. If we are setting a time to meet up, let's stick to that time. And let's not do any last minute cancellations unless there's like an emergency where someone's in a hospital. Like, don't just, oh, something came up. Or you make plans knowing that, you may be going to the movies the same day. Like, just make plans when you actually are free. What happened to that? What happened to have like a little schedule book and you like pencil people in, like, okay, I'm free this day. And just keep to it.
Well, honestly, I do some of that too, but I gotta get better at doing this. But I'd be running around sometimes. I can't schedule people in, but sometimes there's times when people can't schedule me in, and I get pretty upset. What do you think is the solution?
Well, what's worked really best for me, I can only show you my best practices. When I'm talking to someone, like I said, I meet someone, I'm like, okay, this is what I expect. Because they won't know what you expect until you say something. And it may take for you just saying something like, oh, like, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Like, I always say, I'm going to respect your time, you respect mine. If we set up plans and we're going to say we're going to meet, let's make those concrete plans, actually meet up at that time. And I think that communication just really sets the boundaries for what to expect.
Okay, so let me give you an example,
Okay.
and you can tell me how you deal with it.
Okay.
You dealt with this guy for 2 years.
Mm.
He's been consistent. He's come every time he said he was gonna come, but this one time,
Meaning he's gonna come and visit you.
yeah.
Okay.
But this one time he kind of mucks up. So what do you do then?
It's simply exactly what I just said. Like, hey, first find out what happened. You know, like maybe it was an emergency, but also just say, like, hey, like, I understand, like, this happened, but if we're gonna make plans, like, let's stick to them. Because I'm busy too. Like, I could have made other plans, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be some, like, you know, serious, like, conversation where you're like, you know, like, make him sign in blood. It's simply just like letting your feelings be heard. There's nothing wrong with that. That's very human of us. So
Okay.
I think, and I also think, you know, as trans girls, when we are dating certain men or seeing certain men, they don't hold us in the same light as they would like a cis woman. They
definitely don't.
It'll be like, you know, this is my little side project. Like, I'll get to it if I have time. So, and I'm like, no, I demand the same respect as a cis woman.
These guys, basically, they treat us as a fetish.
Mm-hmm. And if you allow them to treat you as that, they will continue. Men will try to get away with what you let them. They 100%.
Mm.
So I am not afraid to use my mouth. I am PG-13 Porsche. This is a family show. I am not afraid to let my mind be heard, and I think guys can really respect that. And if you can't, then great, you're not the man for me. But I'm talking to someone currently, and I think one of the things is that he likes about me is that I'm not afraid to like say how I feel.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to guess. Like, I'll tell you like how I feel, and like I'm not afraid to hold him accountable. And I mean, in doing so, like in communicating, it just makes our relationship so much more healthier and smoother going down the road.
Okay.
So I'm all for communication.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So what other topics do you have?
I have one more topic, but I'm saving mine for the last minute because mine's a fun one. We're going out on a date.
We have a book review.
So our book reviewing today class is Portia,
The Translist.
the Translist.
Yeah, so the Translist is a list of stories by various trans people in the trans community.
Mm-hmm.
And they have stories from Lena Bradford to Laverne Cox.
Ooh, hello, Shane Ortega. Now that is a man.
So what I would like you to do is to read this section here.
The entire section, girl?
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta put my Mother Goose glasses on. I am not getting paid enough for all of this. Whew. Okay, buckle up, YouTube. She was sending us on a journey. It's calling Mrs. Frizzle. This is the Magic School Bus. Interview with Laverne Cox. Okay. I've always known that I wanted to be a performer. In the Black church, there is this whole thing about being made over, about being sort of transformed by the spirit of something. And I think that very early on, I wanted to be transformed by art and by television and by the theater. As a kid in Mobile, Alabama, my environment was necessarily the most affirming place. But in my imagination, I could go anywhere and my imagination saved me. The first time I saw Leonte Price was when I was 5 or 6 years old. Evening at Pops, Boston Pops, which they used to do on PBS. She was this real, regal black woman with full lips, like me, and high cheekbones. She had so much dignity. She was singing Un Bel de Verdurimo from Madame Butterfly. I guess that is French. My French is not the best.
Yeah.
And it was sort of just this thing, huge, rich, smoky voice coming from this elegant woman. And I was just, I want to be like that. I started begging my mother to put me into dance classes when I was 5, and I danced around everywhere. Through the grocery store, during PE, when there was free time during play, I was always dancing. There was a lot of gender policing from people at church and from my teachers, particularly in elementary school. A teacher would say, you need to take that child out of those dance classes. Those dance classes are making them gay. You're going to turn them gay as though it's a class.
Yeah.
For me, I knew back when I was going by like a gay man, like I knew at an early age I had crushes on the boys and my teachers. There was no class that turned me gay. And my mom said, no. I will let my child do what they want to do. Kudos to her mom. That is so cool. She saw something in her daughter and she didn't try to like force her own agenda. She said, you know what, let her do her thing and let her do what makes her happy. That's really special. I had a dance scholarship to Indiana University first and then to Marymount. And so I got to travel all over the country because of art. Art has consistently been this thing that has saved my life and was sort of a rescue me from the darkness. As a Black trans woman, it is difficult to get a job. 3 years ago, I was barely paying my rent. I was living in a housing court trying to avoid eviction. And that's kind of what we were saying in the last episode, how like, trans girls, some are sex workers, some do this, that.
Because they can't get jobs.
Exactly.
You're very lucky that you got a job.
And I am humble and thankful and praise the Lord every day. Working at Lucky Chin's, a restaurant that dubbed itself the drag queen capital of the world, as a trans woman was deeply challenging. The clientele at Lucky Chin's came for the spectacle of what they perceived to be men in dresses. I didn't know she worked at Lucky Chin's. I've been meaning to go there. My identity as a trans woman was not a joke. However, I'm a performer and an actress. I was there doing a job. I'm not sure I would have a job if it were not for Lucky Chin's. This trans woman and the queens that I worked with there were some of the best people I've ever known. I would not be here if it were not for that sisterhood. And I think what she said about sisterhood is also very powerful.
It is.
Because for me, I think I benefited from when I met other trans individuals that were like me and maybe at different stages in their life. And because like I said, for the longest time, I always just thought I was just a gay boy. And it made me more comfortable and made me like identify more with being trans. And it's really nice when you have that sisterhood. Which unfortunately a lot of trans attracted men or trans attracted women may not necessarily get. So it's really nice when you have some sort of bond with people. So move right along. For years, I would audition for agents and casting directors, and they would say, maybe you should move to LA. There's not really work here for trans people. There's stuff here and there. I don't know what to do with you. And there were people telling me that I probably wouldn't be able to do this. The morning I found out I was nominated for an Emmy, I was in my tiny studio apartment in New York City. I was like a gasp. It was incredible. And I think it meant a lot to the trans people out there who thought that trans person would never have this kind of movement, this kind of moment. I've always been this place with my looks where it's not enough. I'm tall, I have broad shoulders, I have big hands, I have a deep voice, I have big feet. I'm recognized as trans. that part really resonates with me because like my broad shoulders and like my big
Yeah, I
hands
have
and my
broad
big
shoulders
cheeks
too.
are like things that are kind of like sore for me, and definitely my voice. I'm always been told like, oh, you have such a nice voice. It's smooth, it's calming, but it's definitely a little deep. I wish it was lighter, but I'm very fortunate. And like, I was watching a video today, and it was another video, and I forgot what it's called. It was like it's this guy named Corey does it, and he's a trans attracted guy. It's like Equilibrium to Tartar or something like that. But he's a trans attracted guy, and he had this individual on there, and she was a woman. I did not realize she was trans till she said she was trans. I was like, oh wow. And then she said, as trans individuals, you first have to conquer that image of yourself in a mirror and be comfortable with that image first.
Yeah.
So what Laverne is saying in this passage is really like making sense. Like for you to go out there in the world and be comfortable in your own skin, you first have to like take a look at your reflection and be like, you know what? Like I'm making myself into this mode, and I may not be there 100%, but I like the direction that I'm going, and I'm doing what makes me happy. And every time I look in the mirror, not to sound conceited, but every time I look in the mirror, like I like what's reflected back at me, and I think that's what's most important. Because I always say at the end of the night, you are the one.
Yeah, love yourself.
Yes, you are the one who, if you're in that bed and you're surrounded by those four walls, all you have is all this. So you need to, be happy with your image and do what makes you happy. So that part definitely resonates. Let's see. For many years, I was sort of coward and try to make myself disappear so people wouldn't notice. I can't make myself disappear. I'm a big presence, and so I had to start owning this trans thing. This is it. Yes, I'm trans. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. I'm going to own this. I'm going to start to believe my own power. My voice matters. My truth matters. We live in a world that tells so many people that they're not enough. And I'm here to tell you that you are. You're enough just as you are.
That is
powerful.
beautiful.
Yes. You go, girl. That was good, Laverne. Okay, now I'm happy my mother goose best is what I read. And there she is looking fabulous with who I believe is Janet Mock.
Yeah, it is Janet Mock.
Show this. And there she's looking fabulous with some individual who I'm not sure who that is, but you go, Laverne.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Porsche?
I like what she said about like being yourself, being who you are. That resonates with me.
You got a little teary-eyed for a minute too, girl. I was like, whoa, I see it does resonate.
No, it does.
No, that's really cool. I'm happy you brought this.
Yeah. And so if you get this is a great book if you're wanting to get this.
How did you come across this book?
I found this book a couple of years back when I went to Goodwill. And they had it sitting there. Books were only like 25 cents.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I got this book.
Side note, girls, if you are in beginning stage of your transitions or wherever you are in your transitions, and even the boys, if you're looking for clothes, the Goodwill, especially the Goodwill in downtown Brooklyn, is good. I found skirts and dresses there at really good prices, and I'm not afraid to do a little thrift store sitch, okay?
Yeah, and they have a Goodwill outlet store in New Jersey. So I went to the Goodwill outlet store in New Jersey.
Well, I think for our next video, comment down below if you want to see this. But for our next video, I think we could share some tips and tricks on what we do to dress ourselves as trans women. Because I know I do certain things that are a little differently to accommodate my size. So I think it'd be really cool to share, some of our best tips for makeup or for clothes.
Maybe in a few months we could even take a trip to Goodwill and tell him that.
Ooh, okay. Field trip. I gotta get my permission signed. My permission slip signed. Ask Daddy if I'm allowed. Do we have any more topics to discuss?
No.
This is the last one? Okay.
This is our last topic.
So that means it's time for my segment. I'm in control. I'm the top. Okay. So I think we should play a game here at the Trans Day with Kiki.
Oh, a game.
Are you ready for the game, Portia?
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay. Our game is called Smash or Pass.
Smash or pass.
Mhm.
Okay.
So for those of you out there, if you're not familiar with it, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. But I'm gonna do. I have a list of guys here on my phone, and I'm gonna say it to Portia. I have a picture just in case she doesn't know who they are, and I'm sure she can put the picture up on the screen for YouTube world to see it. We're gonna rate them either with smash, i.e., you will have fun with them, or would you pass? No, move right along. So, girl, you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
I think a good way to start is the one and only Mr. English accent, Idris Elba.
Definitely a smash.
I couldn't even get the whole name out. She said.
And maybe a double smash.
Okay. Well, I will admit, the man is fine, and every time you see him on TV, they always use this American accent that he puts on.
I know
And,
that his English accent is so sexy.
It's so sexy.
Yeah.
So I'm like 100% use the English accent more often, but he's definitely a smash for me. Okay, so next, have you ever seen Lost?
No.
I'm sure there's Lost fans out there. There's a gentleman by the name of Daniel Day Kim, and let me tell you, those eyes and the cheekbones, oh, look at that man. He can 100% get it. In a suit, ooh. He's definitely a smash for me.
Well, I think he's a cute guy, but...
Yes, I love when men smoke.
He's a cute guy, but I'm gonna say pass.
That's okay, more for me, Daniel. You know the number, baby. Okay, girl. So the next one is, Witcher. Are you a Witcher fan?
No.
It's on Netflix, girl. You gotta get it. Anywho, one of the characters, I'm gonna butcher his last name, but he is Laurent Ophirian, and he is a bearded ginger daddy, and we both know I have a thing for ginger daddy, so it's a healthy path. Not pass, oh my gosh. Is that healthy smash? Smash. Okay, what do you think, girl?
I think he's a smash.
Bitch, she's mine. No. Listen, the way the man can get this.
He could get it.
He can definitely get. Oh, me first. Okay, next is my eternal husband, the Superman himself, Henry Cavill. Look at Henry. He is all man, and he has an English accent too. Look at him as the Witcher. Oh, that man could get it.
I'd say Henry Cavill is very good looking. Don't get me wrong.
Look at the show's pick. Look at the show's pick.
He is very good looking. I give it to him, but I'm gonna say pass.
That's good, girl, because that's my husband. And if you say a smash, we're gonna have to fight. Like, take you out, clean out. Henry, hey baby. Okay, this one I think I know the answer to. This one is ASAP Rocky.
Definitely smash.
Girl, you better be careful. That's Rihanna, man. You know, she don't play. Okay, she will cut a bitch. She's I'm trying
I'll
to
cut her for first.
Oh. Child, not even a fight. Okay, one of our next topics, girl, we are talking about girls who fight over guys. It makes no sense to me, but that's for another video.
Yeah, another segment.
I think he's not bad looking, you know.
I like his stud look.
You know, I'm gonna pass. I'm sorry, I'm gonna pass. I don't want the smoke. I don't want the Rihanna Navy coming after me. I'm doing pass. For my own sense of self, for my own security. Okay, girl. The next one is Chris Evans, Mr. Captain America himself.
He's
What
definitely
do you
a
think?
smash. He,
Really?
yeah, he looks really great. I mean, he's definitely a smash.
He looks great on you. Well, she not telling us something. Okay, so my thoughts on him is, I felt like before when I first started seeing him, he didn't have the beard and he was like a baby, and now he got that beard and he's giving daddy vibes. He's definitely a smash.
Definitely
a
in
smash.
Endgame, he looked incredible.
And speaking of movies where guys look incredible, our next gentleman is Mr. Classic George Clooney. Okay, hear me out. He is an older, salt and pepper, mature daddy, but he knows how to treat you. Have you seen Ticket to Paradise? It was really good. Him and Julia Roberts were amazing. And I just feel like he'd have great chemistry. Like, he'd be fun, make you laugh, treat you like a lady. Like, all those things would make you want to smash. It's a smash for me. I already know what Portia's about to say. It's a pass. Well, you know
It's
what?
definitely a pass because George Clooney doesn't look that good.
He does. He's a distinguished gentleman. See, she's used some hood deal exes. That's what she wants. I want a gentleman, so it's a smash. Oh, look at him beardedness, salt and pepper child. I'll take him. Okay.
She can have it.
This next one is a wild card. But I think it's safe to say that Portia can smell what The Rock is cooking. Dwayne Johnson, what do you think, guys? Smash it.
The Rock, I have mixed feelings about it.
Me too.
Because sometimes he looks good, other times not so much. He looked great in Shazam. He was good in Shazam.
Wait, he was in Shazam?
Yeah, he was in Shazam.
They remade it?
Yeah.
Because the original Shazam
I mean, no,
was,
sorry. I'm sorry. Black Adam. He was
I was
Black
like, isn't
Adam.
that Shaq?
He was great in Black Adam, but I don't know. Sometimes
He reminds me of my father, and that's a hard pass. I'm good.
I don't know. I may have to pass on him.
This next one you're not passing on, though. He needs a round-the-way girl. You gotta shake up.
It was
He wants a girl with bamboo earrings there, at least 2 pair. You got 2 pairs, girl?
I can get them.
Mr. LL Cool J, how do you know?
Oh yeah, I definitely. He's a quadruple pass.
A quadruple smash?
Yeah, smash.
Okay. You know what? For me, like young LL, I'm like, if he's young, you know, I'll let him.
But he's married.
Half these members are probably married. Girl.
Yeah.
None of these men on this will probably watch this video. But that's okay. We can hope, can't we? We can dream.
Yeah, we
We
can
can
hope.
dream.
And for any of those people who I like, call me.
Well, you've heard it here first. This is the Dating and Love Connection, the trans dating roundtable. Call us in and we will set you up with Mr. Love for life. Those are your dreams. And on that note, our next gentleman.
Okay.
You ready for the next gentleman?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen Black Panther, and when he's sitting there all brooding like a gorilla, like a man, just like masculine energy.
Smash.
Bitch, can I get the name out?
I know. It's
Winston
Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
The way the man can look at him, all 6'4".
I know. He looks so
Sitting there
damn
like
sexy.
a ebony Adonis. 100% smash. He can get it.
Yeah, he.
All 6'4"
The man
men
is
can
fine.
get it. He can get it. Speaking of fine, what about Sleepy Joe? Mr. Joe Biden himself. Come on, girl, get that white.
That's a
pig.
pass. A pass. A hard pass.
You sure? That's Secret Service for life, girl.
That's a hard pass.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pass too. Okay, but what about Elon Musk? That's
That's a hard pass too.
Me too, girl. I feel like he'd be too messy.
He's a short trailer.
I feel like he'd be too messy, and I feel like he'd be that good. Like, that's one rabbit hole I don't want to go down. Okay. This one I think I know. Jason Momoa. Was it Moa? Jason Moa?
I'm gonna say a soft pass. I mean,
Okay.
a
soft smash.
A soft smash. Yeah.
Hear me out on Jason. I love boys with long hair, and where I'm not like in love with the man, I feel like you would meet him and he'd be like a really nice guy, make you laugh, be charming. And I feel like his personality would make me want to smash. So it's pending our meeting, I'm gonna say. It's pending. Plus he is tall with those big arms. Oof. But anywho, pending our meeting. Okay.
Pending.
I think I know what this one is. What do you think about our former president, Donald Trump?
That is
You would
10 times pass.
you sure not a smash? Wait. Okay, what about young Donald Trump? Huh?
No, he is a pass.
Okay, what about the younger brother, Robert Trump?
That's a pass.
Look. Robert Trump.
I don't like anyone in the Trump family. Not Donald, not Eric, no.
I don't know who any of these people are, but I'm also gonna pass. But I saved the best for last. Stranger Things. Ever since I saw this man on the screen, showing up in his uniform and shaving and drinking a beer at the same time, even though he was a drunken, scruffy mess, he was a hot, drunken, scruffy mess. The one and only David Harbour. Girl, this man can get it, okay? He has such a hot dad bod, and we both know I love a dad bod. Look at that. Yes. It's a smash for me. It's a 100% smash. And if you haven't seen him in Violent Night, it came out like last month. Amazing.
I saw him in that, and I would say it's a soft pass.
It's a hard smash, okay? Let it be known. David, if you're watching this, call me. Okay, girl, let me get off this damn chat. We've been on for 2 days.
Now I have one for you.
Moi?
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Michael B. Jordan.
I never thought about him that much. I mean,
In Wakanda Forever, he looked very nice.
he just looked like he a whiny old baby the whole time. I was like, okay, get over it already, okay? There are men who out there whose fathers are a part of their lives, and like you don't see them whining. I'm done. I'm gonna say pass.
She's crazy.
Crazy for
It's
David Harbour.
definitely a smash from me.
But more for you, Chad. More power to you. Okay. And on that note, you can go. Get her out of here. But girl, let's wrap this up. These people are trying to get on with the rest of their lives. They don't want to hear our deep voices all day, all night long.
Okay, so thank you for watching our video. Remember to like, subscribe.
Definitely comment below and let us know what you want to hear from us next, what topic, or even if should we do more smashes or passes. I think I have a good smash pass idea for our next segment. But anywho.
Yeah, that was fun.
Right? Wasn't it fun?
It was.
Well, until next time. Bye, David.
Bye.
It's running out.